We call this a capitulation. Cancel all orders. Even Kramer doesn't know what to think. They're going to probably halt trading. We told you that we didn't want to see you get hooked, and you may be hooked. Look at that. Look at it.
Good evening, stock traders, and welcome to Stock Traders Talk Radio here on a beautiful Wednesday night, May 2nd, 2012. I am your host, STT. Joining me on tonight's program, I have Stock Sumo.
Oh, yeah. Good evening.
How are you tonight, sir?
Doing well. Thank you. Glad to be back.
That is good to hear. Also joining me in the program tonight, I have Mr. Cop.
What's going on, gentlemen? How are you?
I am good, sir. How about yourself?
Loving it.
Long day there?
Yeah, they always are.
They always are. Always are. Also on the program with us tonight is Sifakia.
All right. And aloha, STT, Kyle Sumo. How's everybody doing?
How you doing over there, Mr. Sifakia?
Doing good and real excited for Cop Spotlight.
Another stock spotlight coming up tonight.
Yes, sir.
Don't forget, tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the boys on the morning show have their CEO interview. You guys excited about that?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Who will be conducting that interview, do you know?
It's going to be Haas, I believe.
Haas is going to take the mic?
Yep, he's going to be doing the interview.
Okay, that's going to start approximately 9:04, I guess, something like that, tomorrow morning, into the market open. That should be interesting. Also, don't forget to catch the morning show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then us here on the night show Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tonight, we have another stock spotlight lined up for the listeners. Mr. Kopp is going to be doing that stock spotlight tonight. Mr. Kopp, take it away, sir.
Thanks, there, champ. What interview is tomorrow?
CYNX.
No, tomorrow morning.
No, that's the spotlight tonight is CYNX. The interview tomorrow is...
I'm sorry, ATYJ. I don't know what that company about.
Yeah, Racing Limos Inc., baby.
That's the one. ATYG's tomorrow? Is that the one that's got like the post on every single board on iHub?
That's on the top of every page on Investors Hub.
I don't know how you guys do that.
Yeah, I don't know either.
It's STT magic.
Trade secret, right?
It's out there somehow.
All right, you guys ready for this one? I mean, are you seriously ready for this one? This one's going to blow you away a little bit. Absolutely blow you away. We called this one probably about, 5 a.m. this morning. After extensive DD, what did you get? It's CYNX Group, CYNX. All right, that's CYNX Group, CYNX. Had 56 million shares in volume, closed at 0.0010, actually hit 11 there for a while, kept popping down, popping back up 25%. Big volume coming in there, and good stuff. All right, now, what's our normal routine? You guys know we use Investors Hub for pretty much everything. So what I want to do is I'm going to run you through the iBox on different things. They got it updated pretty good. Now, there's a couple twists with this one when we get to the filings and all of that. And the thing I want you to know is 5 bars Road Warrior, okay? 5 bars Road Warrior. The game has changed recently. And a couple of key pieces of this is if you take the Asher piece and funding, basically it's been under a thumb for a little while. That thumb is just about gone. And they're getting ready to blow this thing open, and I'm going to tell you why and how and exactly what they're going to be doing. All right, first thing, CYNX is it's a poor mobile phone reception, and drop calls are a problem for many mobile phone users. And the problem is magnified with video downloads, cellular internet, and 3G service offerings. CYNX designs, manufactures, and markets affordable indoor cellular cover enhancement solutions for significantly improving mobile phone coverage. CYNX offers the industry's first reliable one-piece plug-and-play mobile signal booster, 5 bars. The CYNX family of cellular networks extenders significantly enhances your mobile phone reception, reduces or eliminates dropped calls, and improves 3G service such as music and video downloads and cellular internet. Now, in the United States, this isn't so much of a problem. Everywhere else it is. All right, so I'm going to kind of run through a whole bunch of things with this. Just so if you're looking for CYNX's website, it's not up right now, but I would pretty much wager that it will be up very, very, very soon. Now, I did talk to the company to a certain degree, and recently, the lot of different pieces that are going to come into play here. All right, now Daniel Bland. Let's talk about Daniel Bland. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump to 5 bars. Now, 5 bars is actually a publicly traded company. It is BARZ. All right, so go ahead if you want to pull that up. Ugly chart, right? Traded at 14 cents, I believe, is where it's at right now, and a whole bunch of things over time. Now, these two companies have been interlaced for a little while here, all right? And, you know, a couple of different problems, a couple of issues to where they were getting clearance with a lot of different stuff, especially from the equivalent of what you would consider an FCC or CAFIDO, especially in Colombia and Latin America and those type of things. So we're going to talk about the marketing aspect of what's going on here. All right, so what I'm going to jump to is 5bars.com. Now that's 5BARZ.com. All right, so I'm going to give you the management. Mr. Daniel Bland, CEO and Director. Mr. Bland is a seasoned entrepreneur who has firmly established himself as a hands-on developer of premier and unique technologies. Over the last 30 years, he's been head of Technology Curve by locating state-of-the-art technology, incubating it, developing it, housing it, and commercializing it. Through that process, he has mastered the small cap marketing techniques which have allowed him to raise over $100 million for his various ventures in both domestic and international venues. His development and financing activities over the years have allowed him to build a network of like-minded companies and individuals across the globe, from Monaco to Moscow, from Vancouver to Bangalore. His success is large part due to his persistence and focus. One project at a time, he totally immerses himself as an entrepreneur CEO in the startup stage while selecting a management team to take the technology, the product, and the company to the next level. The skill set that he has developed over the life of his career is now being fully utilized through the certain of 5 Bars International and its leading-edge products within the most vibrant technology sector in modern times, the wireless industry. All right, now why am I talking about Daniel Bland? Because Daniel Bland, technically, I guess you could say, is acting as the IR. The former company people in charge, I'm going to jump to OTCmarkets.com, and I'm not sure if this is actually out yet or how this is all going to play out. But Norman W. Collins is slated as the president and CEO on OTCmarkets.com. Now, if you pull up the share structure, right, so I'm on CYNX Group, Inc. on OTCmarkets.com. Wait for you to catch up there. Now, security details are this. Shares outstanding, 240 million as of February 17, 2012. Authorized was unavailable, all right? And basically you had a market cap of 192,000. Clearly, that's all out to lunch as of right now, so that all needs to be updated. Company officers and all that other stuff needs to be updated. In essence, the inventors, if you will, who used to run this company, in my eyes, no longer run this, all right? And the controlling interest is the key thing that happened here. Now, a lot of these deals have been going down over the course of the last few years where 5 Bars basically bought 50% of CYNX. Now, recently, if you go to the I'm going to pop over to what do I want to do first? I'm going to pop over to the financials. All right, financials, what you're going to see there on the financials, I'm on OTCmarkets.com, on April 19th, 2012, you're going to see a Form 4. Now, this Form 4 is 5 Bars basically buying another, what is it? 51,333,333 shares. All right, that seems that's an awful lot of shares to be buying, right? Form 4, good to go, right? So they're buying it, but that's not the big one. April 2nd, 2012. What did they get? Oh, look at this. They bought 63,412,000 shares of CYNX. And right before that, on the same day, what did they buy? 350 million shares. That's what they bought. So when you work that whole thing out and you figure out the different pieces to it, just with that one, you got 413 million shares is what they bought, right? The other 4 and 4, so you take the 413 million, you add another 51 million, what do you got? 464 million shares. Common shares is what they bought. Okay, so that tells you right there the OS is completely out to lunch. Now, if that's 60% of the company, right, what do you got? You got a maxed out OS almost. All right, so let's go to that and talk about that a little bit. So what I'm going to jump to next is we're going to jump down to the 8K Alpha. All right, now the 8K Alpha is pretty extensive, pretty big. It's about, looks like it's, I don't know, 53 pages, all right? And if you print it out, as you always should, never do it electronically because that way you can't highlight it, make notes, and go back. I'm going to jump to page 2, all right? So page 2, what do you got? On March 26, 2012, the registered CYNX Group, Nevada Corp., entered in an addendum agreement with 5 Bars International related to a set agreement dated October 5th, 2010. That's how long this has been going on. Assigned to 5 Bars on December 30th, 2010, these agreements are comprised of the asset purchase agreement and restated master global marketing and distribution agreement and a revolving line of credit as well. Now, in essence, what the addendum is this, all right? So I'm going to kind of cut to the chase here. The companies increased the percentage of the intellectual property comprising the 5 Bars technology sold by the registrant to 5 Bars International from a 50% interest to a 60% interest. Now, there's only a few times that you do this, all right? If the people on the right, the 5 Bars organization, who have their investors, they're big players, if you will, they wanted control of this. And meaning, in most cases, you're not going to commit until you have full control of it in some shape or form. That 10% is what just happened there, all right? So now they have full control to do a lot of different things. So it's a win-win situation for them all over the place. Now, what did they do to do this? The registrant agreed to the acceptance of 9 million shares of common shares in the capital of 5 Bars International, deemed at a value of 0.20 per share, right? So in essence, aggregating $1.8 million, right? So they got 9 million at 5 Bars, right, which is at 14 cents in that area. As payment in full for the intellectual property sold, and also therein clarified that the ownership interest does not represent the proportionate interest in income earned from the intellectual property. All right, so basically go down a whole bunch of different stuff. Then we got a revolving line of credit, which has a balance due of $596,000. At this date, the agreement has been amended such that the aggregate advances will be up to $2.2 million, and that the additional advances may be requested in advance upon the maturity date of October 5th, 2013. So you get the whole time into this event. Got a little while. All right, I'm jumping down to the bottom. On March 29th, 2012, the company issued 350 million common shares to 5 Bars International, pursuant to the terms of the convertible promissory note attached herein. Okay, this conversion of $73,500 is part of the $596,000 advanced to the company by 5 Bars International, cash, right? Under the terms of the revolving line of credit, leaving a balance of $522,000, the sale of shares represents 50.8%, right? So that's just that piece right there. So we're going to keep on balancing. So now you're seeing that this piece is signed by Norman Collins, right, to give him up the controlling interest of who's controlling this company, which, you know, my man Daniel Bland is that guy, all right? And if anyone's looking for the phone number for the company, it's 949-305-5290, and that's 949-305-5290. All right, good stuff. Okay, now I'm jumping over to page 5. Now, the asset purchase agreement pursuant to the Article 1.1 of the agreement dated in reference to the 5th day of October 2010, amended and further assigned the percentage of intellectual property acquired should be amended from 50% to 60%. So there's your amendment, goes to the 60%, and it talks about the patents. It's all about the patents, and here's why, okay? Basically, 60% of the seller's right, title, and interest for the United States and all foreign countries to use, offer for sale, and sell of all improvements which are disclosed in the patent applications, patent and legal equivalents thereinto in Exhibit A, which is all the patents, such as the applications, patents, etc. Okay, and the buyer percentage goes into royalties and all that stuff, right? Good stuff. So 60%. Now, if you read this, you're going to see it's really drilled down in very fine detail. When you have that with patents, that's what's going to happen. So what do you get? Let's kind of go to the punch. Cell phone signal booster, one patent application, patent issued. The dual cancellation loop wireless repeater management system, dual loop active and passive repeater antenna isolation improvement. The 5 bars trademark, multi-band wireless repeater antenna docking station, turning weak spots into sweet spots trademark, and everything, the key stuff that they have. That's what's going on here. And then this is, signed by 5 Bars International Inc. and the seller, which is CYNX Group. All right. So you keep going through, you'll see a lot of different things on this company. So in essence, what's the share structure? Almost 900 million, probably somewhere right around there. You'll also see that they increased the authorized from 500 million to 1 billion, right? So not 2 billion, not 3 billion, not 4 billion, not 5, but 1, right? To keep it right in line with what's happening. So 60% to 5 Bars, 40% to CYNX. All right, so what's the deal with that? Now, you guys have been trading the OTC for a very, very long time. And 5 Bars is at 0.14, right? Look at the chart. You can see what's happened. You can see where chances are a lot of that was dilutive in nature. If you go back in time, you're going to see a lot of different things with different players or different promoters or different entities, if you will, that were on that stock. So now let's go. If all these things were happening in time, let me give you a couple pieces. Way back when, all right, let me give you the date here. I'm going to talk about Dr. Gil Amelio, okay? When this all happened, this went down, it was 5 Bars basically announced a huge opening bell regarding the addition of the world-renowned Dr. Gil Amelio to the advisory board. Amelio is much welcome addition to Bars as it begins its aggressive growth strategy in the $4.6 billion wireless industry. The former Apple Computer CEO brings Bars a legacy success that includes identifying and implementing key strategically important emerging technology. Now, this is the advisory board. Now, do I know if he's still on the advisory board? I have no idea, but I know this guy's connected as far as Mr. Daniel Bland, period. All right? I will dig into that a little bit more because I was actually doing CYNX. But in essence, when they went back through this, all right, let's go with 5 Bars International, and I'll look up a PR real quick so I can verify this. 5 Bars International announces the retention. Look at that. Retention of Dr. Gil Amelio as the senior advisor to the company at 6 a.m., March 12, 2012. All right. Did I say that was the Apple Computer CEO, former CEO? I think I did. All right. Anyway, Bars, B-A-R-Z is that company. Website, www.5barz.com. You get a whole bunch of information. That was effective on March 1st. Now, he's pleased to announce that Dr. Gil Amelio, a senior industry executive, venture capitalist, and member of the board of directors of AT&T, for crying out loud, has joined the advisory board of 5 Bars. Dr. Amelio's iconic career has transcended some of the most fundamental technology companies in the U.S., including chairman and CEO of Apple Computer and National Semiconductor, in addition to senior executive positions with Rockwell International and Fairchild Semiconductor. He launched his career as a member of the technical staff at Bell Labs' legendary Murray Hill, New Jersey campus. Dr. Amelio received a bachelor's degree, master's degree, and a Ph.D. in physics. Now, that's nice. From the Georgia Institute of Technology. He's been awarded 16 patents, and a 17th is pending. He's the co-author of 3 books, 2 of which were business bestsellers. Dr. Amelio has established a well-documented legacy of having identified and implemented key strategically important emerging technologies. Let me say that one more time. Key, strategically important emerging technologies, leading to significant increases in shareholder values of the companies he led. His broad base of experience, influence in the technology sector, and insightful guidance to development technology companies is a significant asset to the organizations which he has been associated. Mr. Daniel Bland, you know that guy, President and CEO of 5 Bars International Inc., states, Gil has been an inspiration to our developing company for some time, having identified our technology in early stages as a much-needed component within the mobile network infrastructure. He could not be more delighted we could not be more delighted to have Gil's experience and cutting-edge technology insights as we continue to build 5bars into a major provider of advanced mobile solutions. Dr. Gil Emilio joins fellow advisory board Mr. Marcelo Caputo, CEO of Telephonic, for crying out loud. They got the CEO of Telephonic on here as well. And Mr. George Loro and Mr. Finnis Connor as important advisors as we integrate the 5bars technology into the international mobile marketplace. The 5bars team is successfully addressing mobile coverage and dropped calls by providing a personal size signal amplifier that significantly boosts the robustness of wireless communications. I'm excited about having the opportunity to advise 5bars as they take this critically important system enhancement, stated Dr. Emilio. Okay, bottom line, huge PR that actually came out before. All right, now I'm jumping on you again. Now let's go back to 5bars. We're on 5bars website, and what we're going to do is we're going to look at the company, right? So you got the company. It gives you the basic overview, their vision, company history, management directors and advisory board, corporate information, right? And you can go through there and you can get all the different stuff. Has the head office, auditor, attorney, transfer agent, Empire Stocks Transfer, and the investor relations, which is Parkside Communications, Inc., I would say no to that. Not any longer, because they're stepping up their game. They're going to go to New York. You'll see that coming. All right, next thing. Now we're jumping over to the technology. History of the industry, white paper synopsis, and comparative analysis. Read that. Enjoy that. Have a good time with that. Okay, I want to talk about the markets and what they plan to do from that aspect. All right, so home and office, of course, pretty simple. But you got to remember where this is. Okay, this isn't concentrated in the United States. Hotel and travel, marine and recreation, country living, trucking, state fleets, OEM, auto, computers, and a lot of different things from that aspect. All right, so news releases. Okay, news releases. I just told you about the 12th, the one they did on the 12th. The one previously to that was on 3/8/2012. All right, so March 8, 2012. Now, this is a little bit of a tricky one when you look at it. Okay, Mission Viejo, basically 5bars pleased to announce that it has developed and is implementing a multi-channel marketing strategy for Latin America in response to the very favorable results from testing the 5bars Road Warrior device by several of the major wireless operators. Latin America, major wireless operators, your board of advisors are the bigwigs. Go figure. Wonder how this is all working out. During the first quarter of 2011, the company received multiple NDAs signed by several major wireless operators in the region. Subsequently, the engineering departments of these operators analyzed and successfully tested the 5bars Road Warrior device in their respective labs. Test results indicated that 5bars Road Warrior met or exceeded testing protocols established by the engineering departments. This is an initial step before the full-scale adoption of the technology integration in the network's infrastructure. It is essential for the engineering departments of the major wireless carriers to endorse our technology as work together in delivering a cellular network infrastructure solution. The company has been expanding its employee consultant base in Latin America due to significant product interest. Then it goes through all the different things that's actually happening with the Latin market, right? Where it tells you it's big, robust, growing compared to the 55% of this, and just huge data where they've already done the market segmentation for the market penetration. It's already done. They've already been doing this. Now, I'm bouncing again. Okay, so that gives you that. You're able to get other news release, articles of interest, anything like that in news. Just read it. You'll understand what I'm talking about. I think I laid it down pretty good at where they're going with this. All right, so now I'm jumping again. All right, so I gave you the 5bars there. Hold on 1 minute. Okay, now you're going to see what I want you to do is two things. You want to concentrate on the board on iHub for CYNX, CYNX, and you also want to be on the board of BARZ. Now, what you'll see here is on 7/14/11, they issued news, right? When was that? That would be July 14th, 2011, long time ago, almost a year, right, where they've had some issues with this. Now, what are the issues? The issue was, one, they needed funding. Two, which they've already gone through that whole process. Two, they had to make the product, I'm sure. Three, they had to align the board, which they've already done. Four, they had to adjust the share structure to where they could do certain things to where 5bars could be in controlling interest of CYNX, right? Because now the bigwigs that are part of 5bars are not going to let some smaller OTC company control them, so they took control of it. That's what happened, right? Now, when it comes to the inventors and the other patent guys and all that other stuff that were involved with that before, I'm sure they put up a good fight, but the big boys won, period. All right, so what do you got? On this press release on 7/14/11, all right, you got to go all the way back. Bars is pleased to announce that the company has received a purchase order for delivery of 16,000 units of 5 Bars Road Warrior, which represents the entire production for 2011. 16,000 units, big bucks. So the revenue generated from this sale will be $3.2 million. Now you go through a whole bunch of things where it talks about the Edgar Cavito, President and CEO of Electronics in Mexico, blah, blah, blah. That's not where it's going. Where's it going? It's going to Colombia. That's where it's going. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. I don't know if the lady that talked to me is allowed to say that. The bottom line is they're waiting on FCC approval, and they're ready to go. As soon as that happens, and they believe that process is going to happen pretty quick, and you're marching right through where that's going. So you get the gist what's happened here. They already have a huge amount of product. They're getting ready to sell the product. They're going into markets where they've already done the market segmentation, where they've already tested everything out that they need to do, and now they built the board of the people that can get this done. Now, do you think they're going to stop there? I don't. Now, 9 million shares. Now, why would CYNX give up that big majority? They needed them to. They needed guidance. They needed the whole thing, right? Wouldn't you want to align yourself with that board of advisors and those people from 5 Bars? Hell yes. Hell yes. So now it's game on. Now, you sit there and you look at the stock, and I'm sure there's many people asking, is it being diluted, all that regular stuff? Sure, maybe. I don't know. Do you think it's being bought up? Yes. Wonder who is. You think, we deal this OTC thing all the time. You don't think there's friends and family and every single person selected around this that isn't jumping on certain pieces of this quietly? Run the DD Amanda. That's the next step. All right. Now we're going to jump to DD Amanda. Those of you who don't have it, I say this every single time. I'm sorry about that. You should get it. All right, so we're going to DD Amanda. Now, DD Amanda basically will give us the whole 9 yards of actually what's been happening here. So CYNX, you type that in, you go to it and see what's happening. All right, we're not even going to count today. Let's forget about today for a minute. What do you have over the course of the last, let's go with from March, April, and May. Now, you see the volume increasing, right, and driving down, and, all the shares that have actually been bought into the market. So what is the real float? The real float, if you went through what it is, 5 Bars isn't going to be selling their shares. What's the point of that, right? They're getting ready to drive this thing and build the product and just make huge money off of this. So who needs the money? CYNX, they're the people that are involved with that, probably. Right? If I was the guy that just took 60% of a company, I would want them out. I don't want somebody holding 40, 50 million shares or anything like that. So what do? You sit there and you deal with the Asher. You're getting Asher down. You got the other controlling parties that actually had shares before. They start going to the system because the stock is dying, right, before they start going to this route. So what happens? Okay, it bottoms. Where does it bottom? It bottoms at that 0.0005 area, right around there. Well, actually, I'd call it the 6. So what do you have? In the past, this is what you get. And I'm only going to go back maybe because there was very little volume back in December, very little volume in January, very little volume in at the end of February. Okay, now you enter the 1st of March. On the 1st of March, after a day before, where $29 went in the stock. $29. That's pathetic, right? That's like lunch. The following day, 26 grand runs of the stock, 18 million shares. On the 2nd of March, 16 grand runs of stock, 11 million shares. 8 grand, 2 grand, 3 grand. Then again on the 8th, another 18 grand pops. Now your range trading between 0.008 to 0.0012. It was between 12 and 17. Yes, shares are coming in the market. You can see that right there. 5 grand, 4 grand. Then on the 13th, 56 grand hits, 22 million. Range trades between 12 and 37. It pops for 108% on that day. Next day, on the 14th, it gets a bigger boost. 82 grand runs of the stock. 33 million goes to it. Range trades between 18 and 31 and ends up closing at the 21, right? Big day, big pop, lost to 23%. Following day, 28 grand. an increase of 43%. Range trades between 15.0015 and 0.0030, and another 12 million. On the 16th and the 19th, right? You got a weekend now, so it's a Friday to a Monday. 67 grand bounced back with 20 grand, and it trades in between the 17 and 23 the whole time. All right, 20th, 9 grand. Now you're going to go to the 21st, another pop of 52 grand runs of the stock, right? 29 million. Range trades between 14 and 22. They're keeping this thing low this whole damn time, sucking up shares the whole time. Then on the 27th, 97 grand runs of this stock. This is a dead company at this time, remember? I mean, absolutely dead company. They're not producing. Everything's been kind of idle to a certain degree. The stock is just downtrending all over the place. Everybody can see that. But yet somebody's buying a living crap out of it? Okay, I hear you. All right. Then on the 28th, 100 grand runs of the stock, 50 million shares. 29th, 60 grand. Then nothing hardly at all, 10 grand the following day. Then on April 2nd, 165 grand comes of this stock. 165 grand, 86 million. Range trades between 15 and 23. So the guys that are keeping this down where they're supposed to keep it down are doing one hell of a job. Good job, right? Following day on the 5th, you get 78 grand. Then the following day, 20 grand. Following day, 40 grand. Following day, 35. Then again on the 12th of April, boom, 100 grand runs the stock, 80 million shares. Range trades between 9 and 17. So you got dilution and somebody buying it, right? Dilution and somebody buying it. Who's buying it? It sure as hell isn't the OTC players out here. Not at that amount. You're not getting any gains anywhere. Next thing that happens, you got 24 grand, 49 grand, 25 grand, 66 grand, 62 grand, 45 grand. Each of these days are somewhere between 22 million, 50 million, 59 million, 43 million. It gets a pop for 40%, drops 19%, pop for 56%, drops back down. Now your range trading between the 9 and the 14. And then it starts slowly eroding from this, right? Then you get 22 grand, 10 grand, 28 grand, 21 grand, and then a day, then out of the blue, 2 grand, then 1 grand, right? Now, why would that be? Why would you get a 2 and 1 grand? That's because the boys at 5 bars weren't buying then, right? Then what happens on the 1st? On the 1st, 43 grand, and then you get today. 62 million shares traded yesterday in between the 6 and the 8, up 14%, and then today you got the 25%. So this is what I'm telling you. Asher is getting out of the game. They're almost done. Daniel Bland is getting ready to bring the A game big time to what's ever happening here. They wanted the patents, and they wanted the patents for a reason, and now they got them. And the big team of advisors are ready to bring this thing home. What I'd like to do is I'd like to run the chart real quick, but I'm going to want you to do both. Who's doing it, Sif? You with
I got the chart here. But
right.
Sumo, if you want to rock it, go for it.
Whoever's got it.
Looks like it's me.
You got it. CYNX.
What's that, Top?
CYNX we'll do first.
Okay, CYNX. All right, so we're going to take a look at the weekly chart here, and you can see on this, whoops, sorry, screen's not working there. My bad. You had me caught up following around on everything else. So on the weekly chart, CYNX, you can see back in 2009, the first thing that catches my eye is when she fell off that cliff right at the end of 2010. You can see she broke below that 20 MA. She came up and kissed it a few times. She came up and kissed a 50 once when she hit that 0.039, and she's been on a very slippery slope, to say the least. Just can't get through that 20. She's still below that 20 on the weekly. It's curling up at 0.013. You got the 50 at 0.043, the 100 at 0.155, and that 200 all the way at 0.978. You've seen this huge volume down here. Obviously, it looks like a lot bigger and lower price per share. Like Todd was talking about, that quad 6. And you came down and you retested it, that last low, and it looks like, you call that a double bottom. But main thing I like to see on this weekly is let's get above that 20 MA and hold it, and let's see if we can get back up towards that 50. And if you were to drop lines on the top, and do a little channel starting on that 0.25 at the beginning of 2010 and just rest them on that 0.39, coming down to 0.37, it kind of lines right up with that 50 MA. Now, if you put the bottom support channel on and you rack it off that .06 where you can see that long wick and that .0083 and then that .006, you could say, hey, there's a lot more downside. We're kind of in the middle of the channel. Or you can kind of put it where the tighter ones are, and you could say that we are actually at the bottom of the channel. So that's something you'll have to decide. Moving down to the RSI, you can see I got my 50 MA overlay on the RSI, the PPO, and the slow stow. And you can also see why we like to do that. When you see when it broke below those 50 MA overlays, she just fell like a rock, and every time she's came up, it's when she broke through it. You've had a negative divergence going on all the way back to 2009 July. You can drop your line on top of that, look for a break above that. I do like that we kind of broke above that 50 overlay, and we're looking like we're heading north. We're at 39.16. Same with the thing with the PPO. Big negative divergence. You can see every time we try to bump up through that 50 MA overlay, just ain't happening right now. She's just kissing it. She looks like she's kind of rolling over. That's a little disturbing if it can't get through it and heads south, because the price per share ain't going up when the indicators are going down. Slow stow, same thing. You've got a lot of divergences where you can drop lines on top of these little mounds and these little swing highs. You're at 8.75, so very, that's in the oversold area, no doubt. You got that 50 MA overlay down there at 17.20, so keep your eye on that. I definitely like the setup on that, and that's the weekly chart. I don't know if we need to look at the daily. You want to look at the other ticker instead, Cop?
Yeah, BARZ, B-A-R-Z.
B-A-R-Z. All right. Let me pull that up. Okay, so BARZ. When we're looking at the weekly on this, it only goes back to basically 2011. So this might not be the greatest chart to look at, but we'll go ahead and look at it anyways, because you can see when it was down there that 10 cents and it ran all the way up to 54 cents, and then she's just been trading down. So you kind of see where before she broke down and went down to that 10 cents, she kind of was traveling right there. She's trying to hold that level right in there. You can see she dipped down to 13 at one point a few weeks back and pulled back up. But you got that 20 MA at 0.19. You got your 50 MA at 0.27, and your 100 and your 200, they don't got it defined on here. But RSI is at 42.76. The 50 MA overlay is right below it, so you got support there. Your PPO is crossing through negative heading north. That could change, obviously. The slow stow is same thing, real low, 8.63, and it's below that 20 or that 50 MA overlay. So BARZ definitely doesn't look as good a chart as the other one. So.
No, I would agree with you. It's a lot of different things in play right here, and you got the DD, you see what it is. Check the filings, go through it. You can look at the 8K and the 8K alpha, and good stuff. They're telling you the story, and they're getting ready to make a run on this thing. Period. And I'm calling this an inner ring bomber money ball. Period. Absolutely getting ready to go.
Nice.
That's all I got, boys.
Inner ring bomber money ball.
Inner ring bomber money ball.
Is that a new one?
I think it's yes, kind of. I make them up as I go, I guess. I don't know.
That's exciting. A new one. Good stuff.
But I will tell you this: we did the ATRM, we did the ICPA, we did all of them at super, super low, and I feel more confident with this one than when I did those, and that's saying something. Just saying. Never know what's going to happen out there, but bottom line is this has ROI possibility through the roof.
And you said you spoke with the company today, correct?
I did.
It's very interesting.
It is.
Very interesting. I was looking through the website while you were doing this, and I still can't figure out how.
I tried. Now, realize that, I didn't talk to Daniel Bland, and was I trying to get as much information as I could? Of course. Right, you guys know how I talk and those type of things, and super, super nice people. And, there's pure excitement going on over there. They're very, very excited.
Yeah, like I said, I was trying to look through the technology and see what I could figure out with it, but I couldn't couldn't get too far from the website. Let's talk to them personally.
Sure. I mean, Latin America is the key. I mean, how about the board? I mean, seriously, what are those people doing coming to that company if they don't have the goods or if they're not going to create the goods?
No.
I mean, there's some big names.
I mean, there's a few ways to look at it, but yeah, I mean, everybody knows that when you're in your house or something like that, that's when you have the hardest time getting your cell signal. And let's face it, for most of us, we spend most of our time in our house. And maybe cell phone sitting next to you hoping it rings. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I mean, I know in my house, if I'm more towards the center of the house, I get very little signal, if any. But good stuff there. Got to take a look and see what's going on. All right. Caught another good job.
Thanks, champ. Thanks.
I'm champ tonight, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's not good. That's not good. All right, let's move on to what was buzzing around iHub today. I believe Stock Sumo and Sifaki are going to take this segment of the show. Boys, you ready?
Sure.
Siffy, you up?
Ready, Coach.
Ready. Ready, go. Sumo.
All right. Let's check out what's buzzing over on iHub. First up, we'll talk about DUTV. Little DUTV made another move today. We caught this one on the morning show pre-market at Trip 01. Caught the pre-market news a few weeks back. Today, it was up 75%. Closed at 0021 on 132 million in volume. As Digital Utility Ventures, DUTV.
Nice. Well, you got 12 candles to go off of. And those are some 12 nice-looking candle formation there. What I'd like to say is this a big old bull flag? All I know is if this thing can break out above that, what was that swing high today? Sorry. Computer is really slow. 2.8. You had a 2.2 before. Now you got a 2.8, so you got higher highs and higher lows forming. You got that 20 MA at 0.08. You got your 50 at 0.04, and your 100 is crossing through that 200. That's what we want to see. We want to see 20, 50, 100, 200 in that order. RSI's at 73.20, crossing up. PPO 43.88, trying to get through the 44.184, and the histogram's almost positive. Slow stow. Everything's above that 50 MA overlay. So I like that, but it's hard to say what's going to do when you got 12 days of candles. But so far, so good.
Good stuff. Next one up is Universal Bioenergy Inc. Had some news out pre-market this morning. They signed a new contract with a gas utility, natural gas storage. Today the stock finished up 37.5%, closed at 0.22, and traded over 25 million in volume. The day's range was 0.195 to 0.4. Previous close was 0.16. The 3-month average volume is 4 million. So 25 million in volume today. Big increase in the volume today in comparison to the 3-month average of only 4 million. Nice activity there on UBRG, Universal Bioenergy Inc. Want to look at the chart now, Siffy?
Well, I was typing in UBRG because either I didn't hear it or you didn't say it the first time, so I had to catch it at the end there. Not sure which, but I got it now. UBRG. You can see the count of the day. Massive volume, like you said. It crossed up through that 200, which was at 0.033, and you can see it all wicked all the way back down and held above that 50. and above the 100. So you got your 200 at 0.017. So this thing definitely was on a nice little downtrend, and obviously some news or promotion popped it up. You said news, right? So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Your RSI is looking solid, looking good. PPO just about ready to cross through that 50 MA overlay. Histogram's positive. The slow stow is actually pointing down. We'll see, though, because it can always turn around. But, yeah, I never like seeing big wicks like that. But you seen that back in beginning of March. But they had one more day, and then she got hammered. So we'll see what happens. I'd like to see that on level 2.
All right, this next one's gonna be a tough one for you to do because there isn't really much history on it. It's GWBU. That's Great Wall Builders Limited. That's ticker symbol GWBU. Girl, Walter, boy, under. No activity in the stock really up until today, and then boom, out of nowhere, huge volume. The 3-month average going into today is only 2,000 shares. Today it traded over 9 million shares. The day's range was between 40 cents, and it hit a high of 62.99, so 0.62 cents. 62.99 was the high, closed at 55 cents. That was a gain of 37.5%. So all of a sudden, boom, huge volume out of nowhere. Interesting to see what happens with this one in the days proceeding today. GWBU.
I think you got that one covered, man. You said it all right there.
All right, we'll move on to...
Hey, I got one to throw out for you. I want you to chart it, okay? How about that, Sumo?
Go
Ready?
for it.
Okay.
Yep.
This is brought to us by Mick. He's one of the old school posses in the iHub, and he's got DRWN.
DRWN.
Yep.
All right. Tough to get a good gauge on the chart here. Let me just play around with it. And
A Clean Slate Incorporated.
A Clean Slate. Wow, that's a pretty interesting name there. A Clean Slate. Well, looks like it's a good bottom play. Looks like it is floating off of support at 001. I'm just looking at the 3-month, 6-month chart here going back to December, and it's bounced off of this 001 range quite a few times. It ran as high as a penny. Started trading some heavy volume here recently. The technicals on the chart are tough for me to read. MACD is not really giving me a good read. The slow stow, way oversold. Those lines are down at a real low. So I'd like to see those lines turn up on the slow stow, get above 50. The RSI is way oversold. It's at 36.43. So way oversold. Those lines are down at a real low. So I'd like to see those lines. Yeah, we got a Bobo that just joined the call. Welcome aboard.
Is that Haas?
Yeah.
Haas, you got something to chime in? You got a problem with the way we're charting tonight?
You know, I'm trying to prepare for a big interview tomorrow, and I'm listening to Sumo talk about the DRWN stock, and this one's a very interesting one. You're presenting it in a good way, but basically what people need to know about this one is it was a shell. And then all of a sudden on April 24th, out of nowhere, after several months of $0 in trading volume, we have a $200,000 day, and it closed at basically even that day. So some sort of share exchange, some sort of fundraising going on April 24th. After that, we have a couple of quieter days, $20,000 day, a few $5,000 days. And it kind of slowly been dwindling down a little bit. As you see today, it finished in the red on about 7 million in volume. So you have that massive trading day with no change in share price really, and then it's kind of slowly dwindling down to that 001 point today. So obviously some sort of reverse merger or acquisition is in the works here, and people are speculating on that. If you go and read the recent press releases, you'll get an idea of what sort of company they're going to turn out to be in the future here. So people are waiting on further press related to that reverse merger. But a very interesting company, a very good spec play in my opinion. B. Rich has done some awesome DD, as have some other people on that iHub board, so definitely go check that out. All right, I'm done.
Stuff, boss.
Yeah, I needed a life raft there. I was out and fighting some choppy waters there.
No, I just figured I'd throw something in. You're doing an awesome job. Keep going, guys.
Good job,
in and out, just like that, huh, Haas?
Thanks, buddy.
Oh my God.
All right.
Only on live radio with STT. Mike.
All right. I'm gonna leave it with one more, and then I'm gonna just jump off and keep my mouth quiet for the rest of the night because I'm tired. I've had a long day, and the last one's ants. This one's been a feature on the show before. Had a big run in the past. Starting to see some activity again today. It was up 47%, 25.9 million shares in volume, closed at 0065. Ant Software. Run with the chart, Siffy.
All right, Ant Software. This is my favorite chart you've gave me yet. And I'm gonna just say that because you got a nice little wedge formation setting up here. You're kissing that 200 MA. And I'm looking at a weekly, guys, this time. I'm sick of those dailies. Can't see nothing on that. It's kissing that 20 MA at 0.0065. You got higher lows stacking. You can see that off the 0.0022. She came up, ran up to that 20 MA at 0.0328. Now she's found support and it's been traveling almost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 weeks in a tight little channel. Got that RSI, it's scooping at 33.61, trying to get back above that 50 MA overlay. And you can see very clearly when the RSI broke below that, it was very significant, and she has not been able to get above it. Keeps hitting her head on it. Every time she kisses it and heads south, that price per share follows like a bandit. Same with the PPO. You gotta have those overlays, man. You gotta know before it gets up to that histogram or through that 50 line. You know, whatever your MA is, throw it on there. Look through different charts, switch it around, line it up. Slow stow, same thing. It's all the way down at 6.52. This thing is definitely oversold. That doesn't mean it can't go lower. You know, things can go to zero, and we know that. Got your 50 MA at 0.0589. You got that 100 all the way at 0.334 and that 200 at 0.51. So this thing's got a lot of upside if she did break out. I don't know what's going on with it, promotion, news, whatever. But I like the chart. I'm going to keep my eye on this one. I get above that 20 MA since she hasn't done it since she fell back in April 2010. Might be significant.
All right.
Hey, well, before STT comes in, I'm going to beat him to this one. I just want to remind everybody, big shout out to Duck Dynasty tonight. Be sure to tune in. 10 o'clock. Duck Dynasty, baby. Yeah, I'm going to be watching it for the first time tonight. I can't wait.
Bad idea stealing my thunder. Bad idea.
I was just thinking that.
Very, very bad idea. Just let you know at the time. All right, Sif, let's take a look at a couple more. You ready?
Yeah.
And I wasn't paying attention, so hopefully he didn't cover these. Did we cover EEDG?
No, I didn't cover that one.
Okay, EEDG closed today at 0.013, up 0.005%, change 62.5%, 11.5 million in volume. That's EEDG. Siffy.
EEDG.
Mm-hmm.
All right. First time I couldn't hear you because Sumo was talking over you. Boom. Jeez. Nice one. I'm looking at the weekly on this thing, and it's up 195% for the week. And it's through the 20 MA. This thing only goes back to July 2011, so not a lot of chart to look at. But What a beast. Let's jump in at a daily real quick on this. She deserves it. Go to my default, and there we go. All right, so we've got a beautiful thing going on here, and you can see we talk about it all the time. 4 days ago, she crossed through that 20 MA. Gotta love that. Look for it on the daily all the time. Got our scanners running through the crossovers. It's pretty simple crossing through SMA, but it makes a big difference. And then you cross through the 50 the very next day, and then you found support the next day on the 50. Tried to get through that through the 100, couldn't do it, and now you have officially crossed through the 100 MA today. You did get a little bit of wicking, but the other 3 days you did too. I like that the volume has increased every day, even though the price per share has gone up. Your RSI is up in the power zone at 80.58. That's also profit-taking zone at some point. PPO, it's crossing through. It's through the 50 MA overlay and heading north through the histogram. Your slow stow, it rolled over a little bit, but it's trying to get back up, and it's got a little hook, and it's facing north, so good stuff. But main thing I like about when we see stocks like this is when you got candles below you and moving averages for support, at least it gives you some kind of idea of what to do. Plus, you can see that 0088, 0097, that whole range was very important before she fell down that last leg after March. So,
okay, and the other one I want you to look at is INAR. INAR. Closed today at 0009, up 0004, 80% change today. 23.6 million in volume. They had big news this morning. Siffy, what does that chart look like?
Man, massive volume, but you saw that in April too. At the beginning, I'm not sure what that volume came in for, and it didn't do much for it. Today, you can see it ran up. It got above that 100 MA, which was at 0.0012. Looks like the high of that 0018, like you said. Didn't hold. Big wick back. You're not to see a run like we had at the beginning of 2012. At least we're through that 20 MA. We're through the 50, just barely. I want to get above that 100 where we couldn't today. Hold that price per share. Stack on top of that 1.8. And let's look for that 200 at 0.01 if that's where she wants to go. RSI is looking good. Just been bouncing on that 50 MA overlay. It blows my mind how that thing works. When it breaks below it, watch out. When it breaks above it, you're on. PPO, same thing. It's through the 50 overlay. It's trying to get through the histogram and the slow stow. Oh, that guy better slow down. Slow stow. You've got it crossing to the downside through the 50 MA overlay, and it's below that 50 line and it's at 39.52 and 29.40. So I don't like that. That don't mean nothing. At least you got your supports below you. Let's get that 20 to cross through that 50 and through that 100, and it's on like Donkey Kong.
Yeah, they had news today. They have a service for Facebook for small businesses to build their pages and so forth.
Oh, cool.
So that came out today. All right, guys, very well done. Again, don't forget to check out the morning show. Tomorrow, CEO interview starting at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you missed it, I don't know how you did. It's posted all over iHub. It's ATYG, CEO interview starting at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow morning. Don't forget to catch the morning show Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And catch our show at the nighttime, Sunday, 7 p.m., Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As you saw tonight, you never know who will stop in. Haas? Who knows? We never know. It's always good. Surprise. That's the way we like to play it. From all of us here at Stock Traders Talk, to all of you out there in Stock Traders Talk listening land, we're wishing you the best in all your trades, and may your portfolios always be green. This is Stock Traders Talk Radio, and we are out.
Aloha.
Thank you for listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio. All views and topics talked about on Stock Traders Talk Radio is solely for entertainment purposes. We are not professional financial advisors and always recommend you seek the advice of a professional financial advisor. Never invest in any stock featured on our show unless you can afford to lose your entire investment. The information contained on our show is based on sources which we believe to be reliable, but is not guaranteed by us as being accurate. and might not be a complete statement or summary of the available data. Stock Traders Talk Radio advises that the investments in companies profiled are commonly considered to be high risk, and use of the information provided is at the investor's sole risk. Thank you for listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio.